Boom, baby. Here we are, making the podcast. Oh, let's
Episode
mute
one.
that.
Do what?
I have the stream up, so the audio for it was coming in.
That's fair.
Our first boo boo. So
It's all right.
we're winging this because this is making the podcast. It's what it's all about. This is all fresh. We haven't done any research except for get a list of items, a checklist per se, on making a podcast. So I'm Joey.
Yeah. So
this is Mike D. Go for it.
So let's be fair. If anybody's tuning in, we are podcast novices, obviously. However, we're part of another podcast that we've done 8 episodes on another one. So it's not like we're completely uneducated, but the idea here is this is the first one you and I have done together where we're starting from ground up. We have some at least some good basic understanding from well, probably more so than me. Understanding of equipment and how to get set up. And obviously, Joey is more artistic than I am and created overlays for this. And so we've done some basic groundwork. But the idea of this is to get two things, right? I think
Yeah,
two things is one, document our podcast because this is not our end goals to do this podcast. Although I think as we grow and we learn things, we'll probably revisit this podcast and keep doing this podcast and maybe make it more of an educational series as we learn stuff, share stuff.
Yeah, learn and share.
And then I think
aspects of podcasting.
And then probably what the second piece of this you'd say is documenting our podcast as we build to what we want to be our regular podcast. So we're essentially just documenting the process as we go through to start and build our long-term podcast.
Yep, agreed. So, and to put in with that, I also I'm completely open to the direction we go. I don't have anything set in stone. If we have somebody that comes up with a great idea for us to do, because I'm not trying to take somebody else's idea. What I want is to shape this and push it in a direction that an audience might push us in, or something that we discover on the path.
Yeah, I think for context for people to understand, like when we first came up with this idea of making the podcast, one of the things that we agreed early on is we won't talk about this is like Fight Club, right?
Right? Yeah.
No talking about podcasts unless we're live talking about podcasts, talking about building. So it's full. You get to watch the journey unfold from literally this moment on to see what we come up with, what we build. The only idea that we've had so far is let's make something called Making Podcasts that documents our journey.
Absolutely. And we chose Twitch so we could interact to me, Twitch is easier and more comfortable to interact with people that do come to the stream or to the podcast, let's say. So that's why I've pushed in this direction, but it doesn't have to stay this way. This is just our beginning journeys to see if it works. So I've got a list of starting items, unless you've got anything else to say before that.
Well, we've already gotten our first piece of feedback is that I don't know if it's me or if it's you, but I've been told we have an echo.
Oh, it's the audio. See, there we go. Let me see something here. Where'd you see that?
My wife messaged me from the other room.
Say something? Yeah, that didn't work.
I'll get real-time feedback from her as we go.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I see where it's coming in.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Carrie even said bad feedback. So I don't know if that is. How about now? I think I just turned my phone down, so maybe it has something to do with my phone.
No, it's on my end here. I see it.
Aunt Carrie signed up as Aunt Carrie.
Hi, Aunt Carrie. Okay, so we got to figure this out real quick. And tonight's going to be a trial and run because we literally put everything together today.
Yep. So Carrie, you could be our guinea pig right now as we and then the wifey's join. As we're working on this, give us feedback if you can hear, if you're still hearing feedback, if it's adjusted at all. And is it coming off of me or is it coming off of Joey?
No, it's you for sure.
It is me.
Wait, maybe I can just do this. Say something.
Something.
There, you're fixed.
I am fixed.
How is the audio sound for Mike?
Can anybody give us some real-time feedback? How about now? Carrie just said perfect. So whatever you did.
Well, I know that the echo's gone, but how's his quality?
How's the quality of my sound? Renee just said, there we go. So whatever you did, it fixed it.
Boom, baby. Okay.
All right. So let's talk about it. What did you do? What just happened right there?
I don't know why there's two audio feeds, but so this is the basics. So we're using a program called Video Ninja. It's VDO.ninja. And we're in two locations. Mike's in Arizona and I'm in Indiana. What's happening is the feed coming in from Ninja is I've muted it on OBS. So OBS is what I'm using to stream to the podcast to Twitch. And for some reason it's got two. Yeah, I'm a ninja. But it's got, see, this is why I like OBS and Twitch is I can interact so much easier with the chat, the stream chat than I do with YouTube. It's just I'm a creature of habit, and I streamed on Twitch for so long that it's very comfortable for me. But so I muted the Ninja audio. So when Mike speaks, can you at least see if his lips are moving at the correct timing for the audio?
I'm not going to rap or anything, but you can at least tell right now whether my audio is synced with my lips. Can anybody give us a thumbs up on that? See if we're good there.
Renee, I think you should pressure Mike to karaoke to test his audio.
That's not going to happen. I'm not doing karaoke. It's on point, she says. Okay, nice. Good. All right, so for context, I just downloaded Twitch today for the first time, so I'm a new user to Twitch. So, yeah, that is brand new for me. Oh, good.
Folly, okay. What's up, sucker? And Grace and Todd, I've seen your name. Where?
That's Batman. I know who that is.
Oh, that's
Batman.
Is that our buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's asking for us to dance because he says there's video lag. So, look, Joey's more apt to dance than I am. No. Let's keep this thing moving. Let's don't embarrass ourselves on night one. All right. So.
No, okay. That's all you
get. We're not dancing tonight. That could be the subject of one of our podcasts as we get into this. One of the goals that we want to figure out.
Yeah.
But I'm I think that we should get some executive veto privileges in this. And one of the things that I will instantly turn down is I'm not dancing.
So I'm going to show the list if you're okay with that.
Yeah, good.
So this is the list that I pulled randomly off of a Google search. It's kind of what we'll cover. If we don't get to it all tonight, we'll continue on the second episode. But so understand how podcasting works. So we'll get rid of that. Okay, we're back to so understanding how podcasting works. Well, so podcasting, there's many different, and we'll cover formats later, but there's many formats. But for what we're doing a video podcast. So like a vlog almost, but it's we're at locations just chit-chatting. So you need to be able to stream it somewhere or record audio. Bull Rider in the house, thank you. Howdy. We so a podcast can be one person, can be two people. We choose for it to be two people, and you usually pick a topic. So these are all steps on that list. But that's how a podcast works. You need equipment. You need something to record a voice. In our case, we need cameras, a computer, the basics.
And then we also have to have, in your case, you've already picked out our software that we're going to use. So we're going to use this video.ninja. And for this particular one, we are going to use Twitch as our streaming service. However, we're going to keep the videos here and we're going to upload them to YouTube.
Yep.
And do we have the ability to do like micro content within this as well? Like if we're doing a particular topic, can we go to different formats like TikTok, or could we ever go Facebook Live? Like, what are our options?
Sure. So there's software out there that you can purchase. There's no good free ones.
So
outside
we
of
need sponsors.
So outside of video.ninja, most software out there that allows you to stream like remote locations, like Mike being in Arizona and me here in Indiana. So that's part of the software that you can purchase. They run, if you want to do high def, you're looking at $40 to $50 a month. But there's many out there. We can provide lists that do that. But what they'll do is they'll split your stream to all the different social sites, and including like Apple's
the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, yes. All those. Yeah,
I don't know why I was blanking, but nonetheless, so it'll split it and shoot them to all of those at one time. Now, I know that Twitch used to have an issue with you doing that while you're live streaming, so we'll have to check into that too, but that's part of the process.
Well, Renee told me earlier tonight while we were sitting out in the living room is that one of the things that she saw was kind of popular was people, and I think it requires a certain, you have to get to a certain threshold on TikTok where you can actually stream live on TikTok, but you have to have, I think it requires like a minimum of 1,000 followers on TikTok before you get to that point.
Okay.
So
I'm going to be honest. I don't watch TikTok on a regular basis. I bet you I've opened TikTok less than 10 times in my entire life.
Yeah. See, I spend most of my social media time is probably spent on TikTok. I have a pretty good presence in social from, my Instagram, my Facebook, and LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter, but I've got a grand whopping 25 people, and they're probably all related to me. So,
family,
or there's some sort of bot, and that's the whole reason that Elon Musk isn't buying Twitter. Another topic.
Carrie, are you on TikTok?
Me?
No, Carrie.
Jojo just got on TikTok. Yeah. Carrie's on TikTok. Maybe she can help get us to 1,000 people so we can go live on TikTok.
I mean, I can make the videos for it, no problem. That's so the design side is very easy for me. I can do it very quickly. I mean, I did everything that you're seeing on the screen now. I literally did it in about 5 minutes. Okay. I did it on a break.
So we'll come back at some point. So far on the back end, what we've done is we have registered a YouTube channel for this, right?
Making the podcast.
Right. But eventually when we get to a point, as we get to the point where we, again, just to reiterate, our goal here in this podcast is to document the design of building the actual podcast that we want to spend time on. We probably won't ever get rid of this channel because this will be our kind of comeback and revisit and kind of put that out there and make this more of an informational resource for anybody else. Because for us, we didn't have anything. We knew we have Tom. That's what we had. We knew Tom.
Yep.
And that's how we kind of figured this out, right?
Yeah, true.
So we'll, as we get to that point in the process, whatever our next topic is, whatever our ultimate end goal for our final product, that's when we'll go through the process, show everybody how we're signing up for Twitch, signing up for YouTube, possibly creating a domain name or whatever that we do, research going into Spotify or TikTok or registering those platforms with whatever brand we end up going with.
Right. And definitely do everything broadly with a brand. So the next one was identify a podcast theme. So, and we don't need to identify it today, but identifying your theme is extremely important in podcasting. I've done quite a bit of research on building a podcast, and one of the most important parts is having your theme. And you want to know from the get-go on a theme whether it's either going to be, there's two main themes. Educational, well, this leads you to your theme. Are you going to be educational or are you going to be entertainment? Then you pick one of those and the theme should hopefully come to you, or what do you think?
Well, so you went and did the lookup too for the different types of the most popular podcast formats. So are we going to go to theme first, or are we going to go into format first?
Well, I mean, format's number 3, but I mean, we can talk 2 and 3 at the same time. It's not that big a deal. Because the formats, do you want to read off the formats or do you want me to?
No. So we've got, we'll talk through the formats real quick. So there's the interview podcast. And I don't think that you necessarily, I'd be kind of curious what the thought is. We don't necessarily have to stick to one style, right? Like we could theoretically pop in and out of these. So as I read it, think about it, like you've got, so we've got the interview podcast format. So you and I essentially serve as co-hosts, and we try to bring somebody on every week, and whatever our topic is, we'll go through that kind of that interview format, which
sure
is, there's appeal to me there. I kind of like that idea.
Now, let me say one quick thing on interview, because the interview format is probably you don't want to jump between formats because it hurts you with the algorithm on YouTube. But, okay, got that out there. But interview is something that can kind of mesh with all of them. So you can have guests on, and you're going to interview a guest to a degree, but it doesn't have to be interview, because interviewing is going to be
Joe Rogan style, right?
Yeah, that's 100% interview style. There you go. Perfect.
And I think probably generically speaking, when people think about podcasts today, like everybody's trying to be the next Joe Rogan.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, listen, wouldn't we all would love that, but I don't think that is necessarily where our sights are set.
Don't go there.
No?
We could be bigger. I'm not going to put a limit on it.
I'm not saying I'm not talking pure
okay.
size. I'm just saying. Look, I'm not trying to be Joe Rogan's echo chamber.
I cannot slide. I have a dynamic mic, and I have to be right up on it. I might switch to a different kind of mic eventually. It's an expensive podcasting mic, and I spent so much money on it that I have to deal with owning it for now. But if
All right, so
if I talk from here, you can't hear me, can you? Very well.
no, it actually sounds like you're very far away.
So yeah, there you go.
Whereas mine, I think I can actually be a little bit further away.
Yeah, you have a cardioid USB mic, which it'll pick up quite a bit in front of it. I've got one in the closet. I could always try it, but I have all my setup, and we'll go over that at another time. But yeah.
So then the next one we have on here is the solo monologue podcast format. I think for the sake of this is pretty much not what we're shooting for. Like if we go off and do our own individual podcast at some point, like that's probably something that I might think about for myself doing is more that micro content.
Yeah, what's the Englishman that does that? The comedian?
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. But there are a lot of content creators out there that I see that do that solo monologue style. And this is where I think maybe we're at the moment is this conversational co-hosted podcast format. Almost by definition, that's where we are at the moment. Like I said, you can almost make a hybrid of that with the interview style. So we can talk about that. The panel podcast format.
Yeah, so with a panel, you've got a group of 4 to 5 people that are. It's real popular with the Johnny Depp trial right now, where you've got a group of 4, like Popcorn Planet, where you've got a group of 4 people interjecting their opinion on what's going on as they're watching videos, giving an opinion. Russell Brand is the guy I was thinking of.
Isn't he more... I feel like he's more...
Solo. Yeah,
he's definitely solo.
Yeah, I was trying to think of his name when you mentioned solo monologue podcast format.
I got you. So the next one on the list is non-fictional storytelling podcast. Have I ever told anybody that's on right now about my Warren G story? Not kidding.
What?
Joey, you weren't around for the Warren G story?
No. I might know it if you say it.
We went to a... we'll keep this PG now. We went to a club in downtown Phoenix, the Bike Club. We went downtown to a club that had live entertainment, and Warren G showed up. That's it. There's more to the story, but I don't know that it's appropriate right now since we haven't really identified.
I've got, based on what I'm hearing or seeing in the chat, you can't just stop there.
Listen, I do that only to that was purely playing to the audience, knowing that Andrew was on right now. So,
hey, since we're at the halfway point, if you guys haven't followed and you're here, please give us a follow. We need follows to make to the next step for the Twitch. So just to throw that out, but not only for us, but this way you get alerted when we go live, so it makes it easy for you as well.
All right. And then the final one that we have is podcast theater. I don't feel like that would be something that I would be excited about doing.
You wouldn't?
Podcast theater?
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I feel like that's an all you moment.
No, it's not a me moment either.
So if we narrow it
There's
down,
one more though.
There's more that I'm missing.
Repurposed. So this is where you take other people's content and you use it in your podcast to talk about it.
I mean,
it could be fun.
It could be fun. It could be fun. I mean, we talked about on our other podcast that we did yesterday, talking about reading off of Twitter and addressing comments, and just whether it's daily topics or Twitter feeds or whatever pops up. I mean, that's intriguing.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't hate it.
It's not a bad one. And then your own podcast format.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
So, like we said earlier, you and I haven't really talked about what we're going to do here, right? So, I think for me, my initial feeling is I like almost a little bit of a hybrid. I like the idea of being able to bring different people on. Like I like having the option to bring people on in that interview style. I don't know that, especially as we start off, like I feel like we'd have to do a lot of planning up front to start building what that list would look like and start scheduling people out. I don't know that we're quite there yet.
Yeah, in my opinion, that it would be either you know a lot of people that are willing to jump on, whether you're known or unknown. To me, that would take some work to get to that. It's not a newbie friendly podcast format, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that we can have segments of that though, like as we grow, like even on this one, we were talking about, we know somebody that's got a reasonably successful podcast.
Yep.
That we talked about it. I don't know his podcast. It's Big Bike BMX.
Yep. Big Bike BMX.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Big Bike BMX. I nailed that. So we talked about seeing if he'd be interested in coming on and talking to us a little bit about what he's done in his process. Like even in this environment, that's a good one. Like maybe invite him on one week as we're working through this and trying to figure it out and get some advice from somebody like that. I know a couple other people that I don't know how successful their podcasts are, but I know a couple other people that do podcasts that maybe we invite them on and just get.
Yeah, because remember, you could learn one little thing from somebody, even if they're not crazy popular, but you learn the one thing that hits you in the right way, and boom.
Or even mistakes that they've made along the way.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what have you run into that if you were starting over again, what would you do different?
So this goes toward a YouTuber that I do watch, Mr. Beast, and subscribe to him. But
would you say he's the most successful non-Joe Rogan podcaster?
Well, he's not a podcaster. He's a content creator. So there is a difference. But I don't know the figures. I know he's got more subscribers than anybody, I think, right now, if you combine his channels. But his claim to fame was he didn't try to do this on his own. He just kept going. He had this just drive for making videos, but he grouped up with a bunch of people and they made a ton of mistakes together and learned from those mistakes and shared those mistakes with each other and kept learning and learning and learning. And that is huge.
Did you see what Andrew said?
Yeah.
He said, just hearing this, I'd say find the theme and let the format follow. I actually agree with that statement. I think that is
100%. I agree.
Yeah. So then that almost is a good segue into the next piece of that then, right? Like let's start
create
talking
your
themes.
Podcast brand. Is that what you mean?
I mean, are we jumping ahead here? Shouldn't we have a theme before we get into that?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, I'm open to do you want a theme now? Do you want to let it simmer?
Well, I mean, I think we should at least start talking about it and put ideas on the table.
Right. I mean, I really like the idea of pop culture, but it's kind of broad.
Yeah, I don't necessarily hate the pop culture thing, but I feel like we're already kind of doing that over on
Enough to be dangerous.
Enough to be dangerous one. Like, and that one is, look, that theme there is more broad, and it's kind of four buddies that have known each other for decades BSing about whatever topic of the day. But a lot of a lot of that is, though, a lot of the stuff we talk about is pop culture, though. So
yeah, it is.
I don't know that pop culture is. I mean, so look, some of the obvious ones are. Some of the obvious ones are sports talk, but I don't feel like you're as into sports as maybe you have been in years past.
Just baseball.
Yeah.
That's it. College football and baseball.
And I'm not nearly as into baseball unless the Cubs are doing well or talking trash to Andrew about how bad the Tigers are doing. So
yeah. How'd the Tigers do last year? Do you remember?
I mean, I feel like we've got somebody that can answer that for us.
Oh, he probably won't want to answer that.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to answer that. I don't think they did great.
Yeah, well, I knew you were going to go straight there.
Just the Padres.
And yes, I do know pretty much just the Padres when you talk. I mean, I know the basics all around, but yeah, it is mostly Padres. So I don't think that I could.
I guess first.
Fair enough. Oh, wait, you muted. You muted.
Oh,
there you
go.
How
about now?
Yeah.
First lesson we learned on night one is don't insult the audience.
Right.
I mean, unless that becomes our theme, like, let's see how much of an audience we can insult and still keep the audience.
I don't know how far that would go. I mean,
nah,
maybe.
I feel like that's a recipe for disaster.
But yeah, I wouldn't, like, if somebody attacks the Padres, it grinds me good. So I get it.
I mean, I feel like I get that way about the Suns to a certain degree. Like, if anybody would have said anything to me the other day about the Suns, I would have lost my cool. And to a degree, I think I'm just numb when people come to talking bad about the Cowboys. So, whatever. I'm just over it. Actually, I think last season I spent more time being offended for the Lions. Andrew and I actually got into fights last season about the Lions and how I felt their previous quarterback did a disservice to them in years past. And it was a little bit of a sore subject with me arguing on behalf of the Lions.
Yeah, that's a tough one, that whole quarterback deal.
All right, so what else? What are our other topics? We've talked about
politics.
Look, I feel like politics. Man, that's a dangerous topic.
It's one that I'm not very good at.
But that's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that.
I don't think you necessarily have to be. Look, I think that there's a certain amount of audience that doesn't know a ton about politics. And I feel like
I think there's a large amount that gets their news off of Facebook, you know.
Look, there's some pluses to it. I think that you and I are probably not super separated, but we're probably on the opposite side of
Oh yeah, for sure.
multiple topics.
Yeah.
I don't think we're like grossly far apart or anything like that.
No,
But we're
I think we
probably
are
on the
different.
opposite end of topics. It could be an interesting topic. I think it comes with big risk for us. Well, it definitely comes with bigger risk for me, I think, just from a career standpoint.
That wouldn't. How long would that conversation go, though, Andrew? He's
so yeah. Now we've gone into the audience insulting us,
and we can't do a jack about it.
Yeah, so maybe there's an audience for that as well, though. Hey, just come online and insult the two podcast hosts. But I feel like at some point we need to invite Andrew on this as well.
Oh, for sure.
Just so that we can mute him.
But is it is it something that you would venture to do, Andrew?
Be interested to see. Politics. Look, it would.
It's not my favorite theme.
Yeah, maybe in a different lifetime, I would get into that topic, and I wouldn't mind talking about it on a surface level. But I think that the topic is just too charged, and there's not a lot of common sense that gets entered into that conversation. People hear what they want to hear, and they live inside echo chambers.
Yeah, but it's gonna always be like that on Twitch, Renee. But thank you. And I do give I try to give time.
So, all right, politics probably isn't going to be our top topic to talk about.
So for the people that are here right now, what are some themes that you would like to hear about? Just throwing that out there, and we'll give you a little time to respond.
But we'll sit here for 1 minute and wait for them to respond in just awkward silence.
Okay.
We've got to figure out how Tom gets those sound effects.
Oh, I've got it all. I can do it.
Okay.
I did not set up my my button pusher, but I can easily have it. Oh, really?
This guy.
We can't even be an affiliate until we have 50 followers. I'll have that. Guys. We'll have 50 followers in no time. That's an easy number for me to hit. I've got over 1,000 on my other Twitch channel.
Renee said animals. Listen, there's. I mean, I'm telling you, my TikTok is like, we did a kind of an informal survey of how much of my TikTok is what, and I think I came to find out almost 50% of my TikTok feed is animals and puppies and cats and stuff. So there is definitely but how do you create original content around animals?
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be original. It could be repurposed. I also like the happy feel-good stories. I'm a sucker for happy feel-good stories. I don't know how you are too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, we could start telling our stories too. I've got some crazy stories, and I know Mike has some too. But everywhere I go, people are always like, "You did what? You did that too? You lived there? I mean, people get blown away when I tell them how many states I've lived in, and it's crazy. But so that could be. But back to the happy feel good stories. I've always wanted to. That wasn't an old joke for once.
But he did remind us that there was an old joke in there.
I mean, it could have been. So, but I'm a sucker for shows that people do stuff for other people. YouTube videos. I guess there's probably a bunch of TikToks out there that do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Like I watched this guy on YouTube that cuts grass for people randomly for free. Yeah. He'll see their yard as a mess. Cool. And he'll go knock on their door and say, "Hey, do you mind if I do your yard?" And he will not judge whether they're wealthy, poor. It does not matter. He'll find a house that needs help, and he just does it. He does it one day a week, and he does it for free. And I'm a sucker for how happy these people are after they see how good a job he does.
Oh, yeah. I follow a TikToker where the guy just walks up to random people and asks if he can give him a haircut. And he's a phenomenal barber.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And look, for me personally, we talk about brand. I think for me personally, that very much stays on brand for the social media presence that I've built over the years. So I really don't hate that. I think that was, in fact, the exact opposite. I'm a big fan of that. So that is high on my list. I think that, to Andrew's point as well, though, I mean, you and I have, I think part of at least both of our stories, really, you and I have had some rough walks along the path of life to get to where we're at. Yes, both of us have. And I think that, to Andrew's point, you could almost incorporate those two things into a single podcast talking about, happy, feel good stuff and some of the trials and tribulations that we've been through. We've got some funny stories. We've got some feel good stories. We
do have some funny stories.
Holy shit stories. Did that really happen? I think that,
was that the Chinese calendar? Yeah.
Oh, God. Listen.
Hey, real quick, before it gets too far, because Folly is saying, what are your hobbies? Is this podcast for you two, or are there more than we'll be on regularly? So it is for us too. We've decided that this is going to be us. We can have guests, but this is going to be our show.
Yeah, this will be us, but I think we've already agreed that we like the idea of being able to pull people on as we see fit.
Yep. And then Renee, show the clip and transition back to you for conversation. So that's like repurposed. And I like that kind of stuff, the feel good videos or whatnot, and then talk about it. Maybe even do challenges, do stuff ourselves, whatever. It sounds really cool to me.
I actually love that theme.
Yeah, I think that's a great theme. Let's see. Folly. Also like Mr. Beast, by the way, Joey. Random acts of kindness. Folly's not used to calling me Joey, by the way. He's used to calling me Lou.
All right.
All my Twitch followers know me as Lou Cypher. That's not how I say it, but that's, yeah. I'm being nice. Here's my thing about the random acts of kindness.
Yeah. I think that I always get torn about that as a subject matter. So first of all, I'm always a big fan of people doing random acts of kindness. The question in that I would be concerned about on that is doing random acts of kindness for the likes, for the follows.
Right, for content.
And look, I know you well enough, and I think you know me well enough. I don't think that, I don't believe that we are those dudes that would go out and do stuff just for the sake of getting likes and things like that. I think that we have a genuine passion about people's happiness and doing good.
Sure.
If we get into a position that this podcast, dream big type of moment, like if we ever got to that point and we can do those kind of things, I think it would be important for us to do that. I love that idea.
How about this though? Who cares if you're getting likes? You're still being nice to somebody.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's one more person that you're being nice to that could be a contagious thing that they go and do something nice for somebody. You look at it however you want, but my opinion is I'm not saying you do it for the likes because that's not how I am.
Sure.
I mean, my years of streaming, and Folly knows this, whenever I'm successful when I was super successful on Twitch, I was giving stuff away. Yes, it was bringing me followers and subscribers, and it was doing a lot, but that wasn't my main focus. My main focus was I was enjoying giving stuff to people. It made them so happy. It didn't matter. I just enjoyed doing it, and it made me really happy. So, doing random acts of kindness to somebody, whether it's being filmed, you're doing it for the likes, we know where it's really coming from, and if it pushes us to be kind to one more person a week, to 10 more people a week, that's more than we would have done without doing this.
That's fair. That's a fair statement. I like it.
But so I really like that theme. I'm not opposed to that.
No, I think that I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I think that to Renee's point, we could, we play around on social media enough as we go through. We can find little stories that we find on social that we could play that week and kind of use that. Now we're back to playing some of that other people's content, and now we're really getting into that hybrid style, merging a couple different styles. If we've got people that we know that fit that mold of what we're trying to achieve, then we bring them on.
Yeah, I mean, we could even mimic stuff as we're doing stuff. I mean, who cares? Or challenged. It doesn't. I mean, that's just a good direction. So there's one. If we had the whiteboard on the stream, we could chalk that up as one of the first ideas. Marvel was another one that Renee threw out there.
Marvel. Well, look, if we got into that side of it, I'd want to. So I was thinking about something today, actually.
Okay.
Along that lines.
I wouldn't be the best fit for that one either.
Well, maybe not. Maybe. Well, maybe not. Maybe.
I mean, I love it, and I watch all the movies. I just haven't seen Doctor Strange yet.
So yeah, but look, I was thinking, and we can go look at this. I was just sitting there thinking about a topic, and you and I had talked once about maybe doing something with Star Wars.
DC is better.
Yeah, but the point is we can kind of get into that that nerd genre of comic books, and for me, Lord knows that I can spend all day talking on Star Wars, but we can live kind of in that genre of fiction, movies, TV shows, comics, books. Because listen, I could talk all day about that stuff.
I mean, I could too. I enjoy it enough that I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
And the lack of Superman stuff out there.
Yeah, you could almost create a nerdgasm podcast. That was clever. See what I did there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's another good idea. So Renee's got 2 on the list. Wow. What's up with that?
DC animated movies are some of the best content ever made. I don't disagree with that.
Are you talking mostly Batman?
No, more than Batman.
I said mostly.
Yeah, but I mean, even like you can, wow, bro, you could listen. First of all, in even your buddy Folly here said he's in for the nerdgasm audience. Like, listen, there's definitely and there's no reason that we couldn't do two different ones. We could spin up two different ones and have two totally different styles
We
of
could
podcasts.
do
We could.
DC versus Marvel.
Well, no, what I'm saying is we could have our own separate podcast where we're talking about some of the feel good stuff,
Oh,
but
I
then
got you.
also have a separate podcast that talks about, look, I've enjoyed doing this. So far, I've only done one. I've done them on Monday night, and then this is the second one. So I'm 2 nights in, but I've enjoyed doing this.
Too.
Like I'm a talker. So listen, I can get on here and do this every day and create all kinds of content. But
there you go, Folly, right? Mix them together, make some kids happy with nerd stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm game. So I have a struggle, and my struggle is I'm horrible with names in movies and characters, all of that. I mean, I struggle even with stuff I love.
I mean, here's what I also know about you, though. Like, the second you get in and you want to be an expert on a topic, you don't struggle with that.
No,
if this is what if you and I decided to go focus on this, and if we got focused on, hell, even Star Wars, like, yeah, I've been messing around with Star Wars and that whole genre for a lot longer than you, and to the depth that I am, right? Like, but if you decided, like, hey, listen, I'm gonna go be a subject matter expert on this, I also know that you would instantly be dedicated to that. So
sure,
I could see that. So I don't worry about that too much. Whatever. What's that?
To a fault. Sometimes those things are good qualities, but sometimes they're bad too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not too stressed about that. Whatever topic we pick, I believe you'll get fully invested in that. Whatever our subject is.
Okay, so nerdgasm, feel good. And thank you for Folly and Andrew and Renee and Carrie and I mean everybody that's thrown in info.
Did you see Andrew's comment?
Wow. Wait, you're
Rings,
not
vape, cigars.
I mean, rings kind of hits woodworking, but woodworking is my biggest thing that I've ever gotten into.
Woodworking is the one that I've seen you hang on to the longest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you started that before you left for Indiana. You started getting into that before you left for Indiana.
What is that, about a year and a half before I left?
And how long have you been there now?
4 years.
Yeah. So that's the longest one I've seen you get into. But hell, even that, like, listen, I don't know anything about that, but I do want to do real talk. So whether we move to Dallas or whether we stay here, I do want to take on like home projects and learn how to do stuff. So even that one is almost a topic that you could put out there. Like, that's what your passion is. And maybe that's one that you do on your own, or you branch off and you do your own
I know I will eventually, yeah. I was thinking about making that my TikTok start is woodworking.
Listen, there's cool stuff. People, to the point of what Renee was talking about earlier, the cool shit people do on TikTok is amazing. Like, the creativity that exists on TikTok is phenomenal.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Yeah, I mean YouTube too, but the TikTok are so much easier because they're shorts. I don't understand it at all. I haven't looked into it, so I haven't put any thought into it. Wait, dang it, man. You're like a cool me. Haha. Nerd stuff, games, and woodworking. Yeah, but the only game I'm playing right now, Folly, and it's not a popular game, is Realm Royale.
I mean, we could do a whole series on watching me play video games.
That would be funny. But you wouldn't want people to see how you get when you play games.
No, not at all.
I've seen him play video games, and I'm not even gonna. He can say what happens. I'm not gonna.
I break stuff. Expensive stuff.
Oh, okay. Now that you've gone there, you just break whatever is in front of you.
And a lot of times it's expensive stuff like televisions.
TVs and controllers and
sometimes the actual machine.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets. So my introduction to seeing Mike play video games. What? You've seen? Okay, I didn't know that it was a recent thing also.
Well, when we were living next to you, I punched that TV in a mantrum.
With the Wii?
Yeah. I was playing Wii. After I told Renee, don't get me video games, and she got me video games, and her brother came over.
He is not. They're both Mike D. Believe it or not.
No.
This is a different Mike D.
Yeah. So,
quick story on. I'll let Mike tell it because I always tell it on how we met and all that. I think everybody else knows outside of Folly.
Which one? The punching the TV one?
No, the how we met.
Oh. We got 4 minutes left.
We'll save it for another time then.
Joey and I met in a hot tub at probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in southern Florida in 1999. Hot tub time machine. Listen, that's actually kind of a funny name for a podcast between the two of us, is to have a podcast named Hot Tub Time Machine.
I was wanting to go hot tub something.
There is a little bit of humor in that, the Hot Tub Time Machine podcast. That is fitting for you and I.
Yeah,
all right.
I was definitely game for something in that direction.
All right, so to honor the time, we're coming up on 1 hour. We'll recap it. We've loosely have a format. Well, we don't really have a format yet because we haven't agreed on a theme yet, but We've got a couple ideas for themes. So themes are the ones that we like are feel good.
Here, Renee,
kind of
with
feel good theme
with the fire themes. You're a good thinker, Renee.
Yeah, I mean, she's not wrong.
No.
So look, we've got the feel good format, which I think we both like. I think
you guys want hot tub.
Yeah. And we could almost mix that with what Andrew was talking about, where we tell life stories, and it kind of always brings us around to where we're at. We play content that we find over the week that we save and we share on the podcast. I do like that. That is something that I think I would really enjoy. We agree kind of sports is not really our jam. Politics is not really our jam.
Yep.
The nerdgasm thing has appeal to us.
Nerdgasm might be my top.
Okay. I could get into that. I know that for me, I definitely, whether it's something I do with you or I venture out and do on my own, I definitely want to get into that, that space of positivity. You know, that is something that,
That's
is
your branding.
important. And yeah, it's something that I've put a lot of work in, and this is, I've said, for people have told me, I've heard for a long time, Mike, you need to go create video content. You need to go create video content. And so no matter what, I think that's a direction I got to go in, whether, like I said, whether you and I do it together, whether it's something that I do is on my own or whatever the case may be. So that's high up there. But the nerdgasm one, I think definitely is intriguing, and I think we could have a shit ton of fun with that one. And so with that, let's table that, and then we'll figure out next time we hop back on and keep the list going until we come up with what we agree is our theme.
Sounds good to me. So everybody that's still here, if you could give us a quick, we'll wait 1 minute, a quick howdy harhoo buckaroo, or a emote, something.
Yeah, I like Renee's input. Nerdgasm, you don't have to limit yourself on content. The Feel Good, you could create your own content or reuse content, which both of those. Look, man, I'm not opposed to doing both of them, to be honest.
I'm not either. I'm open to doing both. I think those are phenomenal ideas.
Yeah. I like them both equally, and I could see us doing that. But, all right, so we're an hour in. We're going to stop now just so we honor that time that we're going to talk about. We'll stop this episode here, and then we will pick it up here. You and I will talk offline when we're going to do it again.
Sounds good. Remember, guys, it doesn't cost anything to follow. We need follows. We have to hit 50 to become affiliate on Twitch. So it helps us, and it helps you get messages when we do go live. So it'd be much appreciated. And
yeah. I appreciate everybody joining in on the conversation. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, you're helping us carve our path.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
all right, everybody.
Cool. Thank you. Everybody have a great night, and we are done. Laters.